Most people don't realize it, but they're living their lives the same way they use the internet, with too many tabs open. One tab is that career they might pursue. Another is a relationship they're unsure about. Another is a backup plan. Another is a dream they keep for later. Everything stays optional. Nothing gets locked in. We tell ourselves this is freedom, that it's flexibility, that we're being smart by keeping doors open. But if we're honest, it's not freedom at all. It's fog. Self-created fog. And inside that fog, the most valuable skill isn't doing more. It's seeing clearly. Radical clarity. Knowing exactly who you are, what you want, and what you're willing to ignore. Clarity is a massive advantage, because while most people are still standing at the starting line, analyzing, comparing, overthinking, asking everyone for opinions, clear people are already moving. They don't drift. They don't wander. They go from point A to point B without detours, without constant second-guessing. They don't say this could be nice or we'll figure it out later. They decide, and that decision creates momentum. Clear people don't save time. They create time, because every unclear decision drains energy. Every maybe costs attention. Every open loop quietly steals focus. But when you know where you're going, things start to align. Opportunities make sense. Distractions lose their pull. And something strange happens. The world begins to move out of your way. Clarity is magnetic. People who are lost naturally follow someone who looks like they know the path. Trust forms without promises. Authority shows up without titles. Not because you're louder or smarter, but because certainty is rare. So why is clarity so uncommon? Because being clear means choosing, and choosing means risking being wrong. It means disappointing someone. It means going against expectations. Vagueness feels safer. It gives us an escape hatch. But safety built on indecision is an illusion. If you don't design your life deliberately, you'll eventually be hired into someone else's plan. Clear people aren't special. They're just brave enough to turn down the noise and listen inward. And once they do, they're no longer passengers. They're driving. Now look closely at any argument, any debate, any disagreement, and you'll notice something fascinating. How rare it is for someone to say 3 simple words, "I was wrong." We like to believe we're logical, that we follow evidence, that we update our beliefs when facts change. But in real life, almost no one does this cleanly. Because the moment you're wrong, ego shows up. Identity feels threatened. Being wrong stops feeling like a mistake and starts feeling like a loss. Your brain doesn't interpret it as information. It interprets it as danger. So instead of opening up, it doubles down. That's why people defend bad ideas even harder after they've been proven wrong. When someone can genuinely say, "You're right, I hadn't thought of it that way," without excuses, without blame, without spinning the narrative, they're doing something incredibly difficult. It looks simple. It's not. Changing your mind publicly goes against powerful instincts. But here's the advantage. People who can admit they're wrong learn faster. They adapt quicker. And they earn trust effortlessly. Because real confidence isn't about always being right. It's about not being afraid to update who you are. You're not losing when you admit you're wrong. You're moving forward. Then there's focus, real focus. And most people have never experienced it. They think they have, but what they're actually doing is switching contexts. Checking a phone, opening another tab, responding to a message, jumping back in. That's not focus, that's fragmentation. True focus feels different. Time stretches, the outside world fades. Your mind locks onto one thing and doesn't let go. And it's rare because everything around you is designed to interrupt. Your phone, your apps, your job, even your own thoughts. So people stay busy, they react, they skim, they mistake motion for progress. But deep focus changes the math entirely. 1 hour of true concentration beats 8 hours of divided attention every single time. That's how some people seem to move faster without working longer. They're not smarter, they're uninterrupted. Focus compounds. The longer you stay with a problem, the sharper your thinking becomes. You start seeing patterns others miss, connections others never reach. Most people quit right before that point. If you can stay just a little longer, go a little deeper, you operate on a different level. Then there's something so basic that people overlook it entirely: reliability, being on time, consistently. People think it's small. It's not. It's a statement. When you make someone wait, you're not just taking minutes from them, you're sending a message. My time matters more than yours. That's why punctuality is powerful. In a world full of weak apologies and constant delays, showing up exactly when you said you would builds trust instantly. You don't talk about respect, you demonstrate it. Being on time isn't about the clock, it's about self-respect and how seriously you take your word. And when things go wrong, because they always do, most people panic. Their heart rate spikes. Their thinking narrows, they freeze or flail. But the person who stays calm while everything is falling apart has a different kind of advantage. Calm buys time, seconds, and seconds matter. Studies of disaster survivors show the best decisions weren't made by the smartest people. They were made by the calmest, people who could still access reasoning while everyone else was running on instinct. Some of this can be trained. Pilots, surgeons, first responders rehearse pressure. But some people simply delay panic. Their fuse is longer, and that makes all the difference. Panic is default, calm is trained. If others turn to you when things go bad, you have something rare. Then there's the ability to explain something complex and make it feel simple. You know that moment when something finally clicks? That's not common. Most people who understand something deeply can't explain it clearly, because explanation isn't about knowledge. It's about translation. You have to know what you know, notice what the other person doesn't, choose the right starting point, and adjust in real time. That's hard. It's called the curse of knowledge. Once you understand something, your brain forgets what confusion felt like. The people who explain well slow down. They simplify without dumbing things down. They meet others where they are. And that skill is insanely valuable. Entire companies exist just to translate ideas between departments, not to invent, but to clarify. And finally, there's the ability to give honest feedback without crushing someone. Most people avoid it entirely, letting problems grow. Others are blunt and trigger defensiveness. Both fail. The rare skill is the middle ground, honest without cruelty, clear without being personal. You critique the work, not the person. You give direction, not shame. That balance doesn't come naturally. Even trained managers struggle with it. But when you do it right, something powerful happens. Instead of resentment, you get trust. Instead of resistance, you get growth. If you can tell someone a hard truth and they walk away motivated, you're not just communicating, you're leading. So ask yourself, which of these skills gives the biggest advantage? And more importantly, which one are you willing to practice today? If this changed how you see everyday habits, you already know what to do next.